Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Nothing's changed here since last week, absolutely nothing. And as usual, as is the case, it seems with mine anyway, everything's going hunky-dory and then it all goes pear-shaped, or a bit Pete-Tong. Oh dear. Still, I'm here now. Hello you lot. You will notice that we have an error 404 going on here. Jim not found. That's because Jim's been called into his work again, so he can't be with us, and that leaves you in my gentle, innocent little hands. Don't you feel safe? You do, don't you? I know you do. I'm going to be looking at one of these today. Now that is a Big Daddy tank from Torby up north. You know who I speak of. And I've done a little record of that. The reason being is because I'm on my own, and the wife and the young rat have been out doing their poppy stuff. I thought I'd better do a pre-record, because if I try and do it real time, it's just going to get very painful and you'll hear a lot of swearing, and swearing on air is, well, Mr. Hi-Fi doesn't like it, so I don't swear. I'm a little sweet innocent thing, I am. Honest, trust me. But we're also going to be having a look at these. Yes, that's right, I have a second camera at last, and in that you can see a little wooden thing there by Gary, that one there, see there? Yeah, he gave me that at Vape Fest so I could have a look at it. And this here, and this was given to me again at Vape Fest by Rusty, which of course is the copper. One's a little toy and the other one is, well, it's a copper. It's a nice looking little mod, which did take quite a bit of cleaning, I must admit. The wife was rubbing it quite furiously and it looked quite good at the time. And the same with the copper as well. That was very tarnished. I think it had been stored in a cupboard somewhere for a long time. So the wife gave it a real good rubbing and she used oil on the wood, so it was good to watch, let's put it that way. Jim has also done a pre-record for us, bless him, which is a Juice 101. And those of you who saw us before we joined VTTV would know that he did a Juice 101. Well, this is a Juice 101.1. It's a sort of an update on it. So you've got two vids coming up, and hopefully we're going to have time to look at those two as well. So in the meantime, I will now try and find my intro, which is this one here, and I'll see you in a minute. Yay, timing! I switched it off before the echo came back. You all know which I'd speak of. It gets quite annoying, quite loud, and with this speaker setup it gets quite deafening as well, because I get the ones at the back kicking in. It gets quite interesting. I think I need to drink a bit of this. I also think the Harlequin might be going to the corner to join Willow, because you know, it goes without saying that Willow will be in the corner at some stage this evening. It's just there. Dell will probably join her. Hello Daz. I know Daz is in there somewhere. Be a good Daz tonight. Okay. Otherwise, Uncle Hi-Fi will come and get you. Okay? And he will tickle you mercilessly with his beard. I could as well, but you know, we'll leave that one out of it for the moment. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to show you a little advert, and then we're going to go into Juice, and then I'll come back and we will talk about something else. Okay? Enjoy!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going to do a little video for Andy because I'm not here, if you know what I mean. I'm not actually with Andy at the moment, as he's probably already mentioned. I'm sure he has, because he's one of those strange people that will do that. I've had to work again. Never mind. But yeah, I got to work, so I'm going to do him a quick video just so he doesn't panic. I lie. He wouldn't panic. He's a professional. Possibly. Now, if you've seen our YouTube videos before me and Andy joined Vape Trails TV, our very first video was a quick one of me doing Juice Mixology 101. This is Juice Mixology 101 revised, with me talking over the top rather than just little annotations on a YouTube video, which, yeah. Anyway, never mind. So, what I'm going to do is make up a little bit of juice, have a little chat, job done. That's it for this little segment. Why do some people mix their juice? Well, some people make their own juice because it works out cheaper. It might do, although juice is quite cheap. If you buy your own base nicotine and all the relative mixing ingredients, it can work out a hell of a lot cheaper. Some people mix it to get just that right flavour that they like. I mean, personally, I used to mix up cherry all the time from Flavour Arts cherry because it tasted a lot like the cherry drop sweets, and nothing could even get close to that, which is a bit of a shame. But then, of course, I made my own. So, without further ado, I'm going to switch to another camera now. Just like that. And hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. The bars on the thingy-majigger are telling me that you can. Excuse the messiness of my desk. The dirty little ring marks. I need to get a coaster. Right, so what do you need to mix your own juice? Well, you need your base liquid. Here I have Nic Vapes, 50 milligrams, nicotine in VG, USP, pharmaceutical grade, that is, VG, which is glycerin. If you use glycerin, then you're going to get more vapour, not much throat hit. If you use propylene glycol as the base, then you're going to get more throat hit, less vapour. Good for making stealth juices. I like a mix of the two, so I've got Cloud9's PG. That's just PG, there's no nicotine in that. Oh, that's what I'm going to point out. With this, it's 50 milligrams. Do not vape it straight. You need to cut this. The highest I would recommend ever making a mix is 36 milligrams. Okie dokie, good. Right, now that's out of the way. Now I have some flavouring, which is Flavour Arts Blackcurrant, purchased from libertyflights.co.uk. You can also buy a large selection and massive tubs of their flavours straight from Flavour Arts themselves. Might take a bit of time because it's got to come from Italy, but never mind. If you want to wait and take your chances with that, by all means do. Otherwise, go to Liberty Flights, and I think a couple of other places sell them as well. You're also going to need a little syringe. This one I got from Liberty Flights as well. A little dinky thing, and possibly a needle. I'd recommend an 18 gauge needle without the speary bit, if you know what I mean by speary bit. It's the pointy end. Just clear that bit up for you. There you go. Get a bit more clarity over here. You're also going to need an empty receptacle for your jewels. I've cleaned this one out. This was Decadent Vapors. Very squeezy. Very squeezy. I like these ones. Anyway, I shall mosey on. What you want to achieve, really, you can get juice calculators. I may put a little video of a juice calculator over the top of this once I go to editing. And you can figure out the standard amount. I generally go by I. So I'm going to go straight out, chuck my base in there. I'm going to put in this 10ml bottle, I'm going to put in 5 mil of base, about 3 mil of the cutting agent, and a mil to 1.5 mil of flavour. When I can get a draw on this, which is being extremely tight at the minute. So in fact, I'm going to get rid of that and do it a rather dodgy way. You've probably seen me do this before on our shows. I'm not going to bother with the needle. I'm just going to tilt this and draw as the fluid goes through. Much quicker, much easier. That's I'm going to need some more. I thought I was mixing in a 5 ml bottle for a second. Do forgive me. Right. So there I have, in there now, 5 millilitres of the base at 50 milligrams. So now I need to take my propylene glycol for cutting. Ooh, that will just slide right in the top of there. And I'm going to chuck 3 mil of that into there. Now, if anybody can do the maths, I'm sure they will chime in, but that should cut it down to about 30 milligram. No, that should cut it down to about 36. Somewhere around there, but obviously once you chuck your flavour in, that'll cut it down again, that'll water it down a bit. Most flavourings are already in PG. That's generally how they're made. So I'm going to chuck my blackcurrant in there, and I'm just going to do this one just like this, just drop it straight in and stop when I think it's ready. With the original video I also played the Vision On music. I can't do that due to copyright purposes on this one, sadly. Sorry. I'd love to, but I'm not allowed to. They don't let me do things like that anymore. That is the joys of being on Vapor Trails TV. Now, going to give it a good mix. Shaky, shaky, shaky. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to switch back to this one, and you can see me shaking. Hello, I'm back. Right then, that's had a nice shake. It's got a very strong flavour from it. I am now going to take my screwdriver with a standard Atty on it, low resistance. Give it a drip. 3 drops onto there. Excuse me. Oh, blimey, that is quite blackcurranty. That's spot on, I think, for the blackcurrant. Ooh, beautiful. I think that needs something else in there. So I'm going to chuck some raspberry in. Making a little fruit cocktail here. Yeah, there we go. I'll chuck it back on there and show you once more. You just drippy, 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 drippy. Not too much of that one. I'll put about 10 drops of that in.
Whoa. I didn't stop it that time. It seems that was creating quite a bit of lag, which is unusual. So I've cut that one down, and perhaps we'll be able to show that at another time, but probably not tonight. Now then, let's see if it's going better now. So, all you in channel, are you still lagging out with me just talking to you like this? Please do tell, please. No. You know what's going on there? Not now. Not now. So this is lag free, is it, people? Sav saying it's better, Finger saying not now. It looks as though it may have been the vid for some reason. Uploading porn, downloading porn. Dwarf porn, shorter downloads. Shh. Frozen here from Microsoft. Let's just try an advert, see what that does. I was just about to reacquire it, but I've been told to hang fire, so I will hang fire. Yes, I was watching that in silence, so that's how prepped we are, ready to go. Except the lag is trying to stop me tonight. That's a shame from Jim, but as I say, we will show that one again at a later show. Okay, hopefully the one I've done with the tank is going to be okay, because that was 20 minutes, and it took quite a bit of doing. And if I have to do that again, I'm going to be most upset. There may be a tear, or perhaps a swear word. Just one, maybe two, or more. But, you know, we shall see. Right, okay, well that sort of puts it up on that one. So let's have a little look at this, shall we? Shall we? I say, this was given to me at VapeFest by Rusty. Thank you, Rusty. He didn't use it, or wasn't using it, and I like the look of it. So, that's Cat's upstairs. I thought I'll have one of those. It takes a 14500. Liberty Flights have got them on the site, but there's none available there. I think I read further back in the chat log there, chat roll, that there were other suppliers of these, so you can get them elsewhere. As I say, the only one I've got reference to at the moment is Liberty Flights for, I think it's $29.99, and they haven't got them in stock, which is a bit of a pain, but you know. Anyway, what you get is, as the name implies, copper. Nice big vent hole at the bottom, just in case your 14500 should decide to mess you around. And for this one I'm using high drains, because I do like my high drains. You just screw it in. For the purposes of this one, I'm going to use one of these. Can you guess what it is? It's one of Daz's. So if he's a good person tonight, which is possible, I use that word very, very lightly, but it is possible. And there you go. Now you've got an extended copper with a bud on it. Now, these are very simple, what they are. Very mechanical. Nothing to go wrong, really, unless that gets dirty on the inside. It activates by pushing down on it. You might be able to hear that. Yeah, that's hissing away quite nicely. Obviously it's a 510 on this one. You could probably get adapters if you wanted 901s. With a 14500 in it, I'm not too sure you should use a low resistance, because the battery in there is only, I think it's 800 milliamp hour, and low resistance really meh. I'd sort of put them above the 9 really, or on the 9 and above. Ooh, nice flavour. Right, so Sam Monroe, shouldn't coppers have blue helmets? Only when they're flashing in cold weather. Matt Jailbreak Everall says, take it to the scrapyard, mega money there. Nah. And Put says, hello, hello. It says hello, hello every time you pick it up. You really are strange. Right. So, initial impressions were it's going to tarnish quite bad. You need to keep on top of it. The wife spent quite a bit of time rubbing quite furiously, quite mesmeric actually, to get this nice and shiny as it is now. And of course I'm putting my finger dirty paws all over it, so it's going to get a bit dirty again. I haven't used it much, purely because I'm used to heavier duty sort of devices, but it does sort of draw the eye. And I took it out with me on Friday last, and it did get quite a few compliments. And what on earth is that? They must have thought I was a plumber. Oh dear. Willow Fairy says, did we need to know about the wife rubbing furiously on it? And Delboy has quite rightly said, yes, we did, Jules. You're just jealous. Some of the comments in there. With the bud atomizer, this actually complements it quite nice, I think, both in looks. It does look a bit long, but it does seem to fit seamlessly on there. Now, you can't over tighten these. Ow, sorry. You can't over tighten these really, because unless you hold your thumb there, it isn't going to turn much, and it turns the whole unit with it as well. I don't know whether that's the same with the other units you get now. It says light pressure. I found really you do need a hand, because otherwise you're going to be holding it in your teeth when you push it in. And the problem is with there is if you've got a hard tip, behave, Willow. If you've got a hard tip like this one here, and it slips, you stand a good chance of swallowing the damn thing, and that's a bit heavy to do, okay, so don't do that. A safer way, for me at least, is to hold it with two hands and just push down lightly using this hand. And I find it quite good. I mean, obviously the unit itself is just a battery holder. The vapour there is done via or courtesy of the bud. But it is quite a solid little device, to be fair. It's got quite a bit of weight there. And if you look on there, because when I first looked at this from Rusty, I thought that's never a 14500, not with the size there. I keep forgetting I've got another camera here, but then again that's over there. That was going to be a Jim cam or a Casper cam. Who's my cat? Actually, when you look inside there, that's actually quite thick on the inside there on the walls. So the 14500 just slots in quite nicely without too much rattling. In fact, there's no rattling there at all. So it's really quite surprising. As a mod-wise, if you like 3.7s, these are okay. I have not tried it at 6 volts. Now I know you can take them up to 6 volts on these by stacking them. Let's see which ones is it. The CR2s? I suspect it will be the CR2 batteries, which are the little ones. And I think then you wouldn't really want to be using the bud on it. You'd be using well, you can use a low resistance one on there, or a different type of a dual coil or something like that, which was going to make it quite difficult. But I have not tested it on the 6 volts for my sins, and Jim isn't here, so I'm not going to. Hi-Fi there says you could stack CR2s with CE2s. Sorry, the only places my CE2s go are in little devices like that, where they are safe. Which is more than could be said for my grip putting the thing back down again. Right, so that's just a really quick look, because without having too much info on it, and as I say, Liberty Flights have got them, but they haven't got them. They've got them on the site, but they don't have them in stock. It's kind of a bit difficult really to say much more about it. You can use them at 3.7, as I've said, or 6 volt. They do look quite nice, but be prepared to be cleaning it almost as often as your car. If you don't have a car, your bike. If you don't have a motorbike, then your push bike, or even yourself. And Daz, I think Dave wants CE2 fitted with menthols for Christmas, everyone. And Hi-Fi's responded, as Hi-Fi would, Dave bloody doesn't, thanks ever so much. And you just know that he said that with a big smile on his face. You know this, don't you? That's that one. Now, I'm actually going to do something quite silly now. I am going to play one which I'd spent most of this afternoon trying to get sorted out, because as you can see I haven't got much movement today and on me tot. I hope this one isn't laggy, because if I do have to cut it off I'm not going to be happy, but let's hope it all goes okay on this one. But before we do, let's have some of this. Hello people, this is a pre-record. Do not be alarmed, do not adjust your sets. Well, monitors. Unless of course you've got Macs, in which case don't undo your buttons. Don't go to train stations, and don't start flashing at old ladies. Right, I've got a tank on here. Now this one is not the one I'm going to be reviewing. However, this one is. Toby got these in from up north, you know the one I mean, and I thought, ooh, a Big Daddy and Little Mama tank. 2 size tanks for the price of 1. I thought I'll have those. Now for the purpose of this one I'm going to be having a look at this, which is the 5mm version. It does also come in the packet. Ow. Doesn't come with an owl. A 3mm size polycarbonate, and you've got the little stainless steel grommets, bongs, end stops, whichever you want to call them. You know, see them, they're nice and shiny, and also beveled, which makes them look rather nice. I don't know if that's going to show it up. I'm going to swap to a different camera in a minute, hopefully. I haven't got Jim with me today. Now he's actually got the vid up, so you've either watched that or you're going to watch it. Depends which way I click. We shall see. There's another one though. Now both of those are exactly the same size. They're both the same, so you don't need to worry about which side they're going to go on. Ooh, excuse me. Now, it does also come in the back with some spare O-rings. Can you see them there? They're O's. See? We have a PV down. I repeat, we have a PV down. And as you can see, they're O's when viewed from that side, although they're not O's if you view them from that side. Did you see that? Be careful. Don't try putting them in sideways. They won't work. Excuse me a minute. Oh. Rockstar is on the ground. Must be Michael Jackson. Right. Ooh, that was bad, even for me. Sorry people. Scratch that. Erase it from your memories. It never happened. Right, okay, so I'm going to now try and swap this to another camera, hopefully before I have another coughing fit. Ooh, that's strong stuff. Let's have a look at them close up, shall we? Be good-ish, especially you, Willow. Behave. La 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 la. Right, okay. Now, obviously my camera's showing that there, so it should be there. Otherwise it's not there. It looks like it's there, so I'm going to carry on as though it is there, which I hope it is. Now, let's take this out of the way, because we don't need those for the moment. Those things there, wait a minute, there are spares. There are spares. Right, let's remove this. I must be expecting Willow to be watching the thing now, but look at that. Right, okay, let's move that. Wait, that could look just as bad from another angle. Right, okay, what we have here, people, are two end caps. That's another word for bong, end cap, whatever. Yeah, stainless steel. They are beveled. I hope it is going to show them. It might. And again, the other word I might be using on that is not. You can see it's nice and smooth. And you've got your outer O-ring there, which seals the tube when it is inserted into it. Inserts it into the oh dear. And same on that one. Now, hopefully this will pick it up, but there is an internal O-ring on the inside there as well. Now that is for the seal for, you know, so the juice doesn't pee out from your carto insertion. It's a very sexy sort of video, this. Right, now I am going to attempt to assemble it, and as I say, for this particular one, I'll use the 5mm rather than the 3. Now this does require a little bit of pulling, or pushing even, but basically all you do is you position it over on the inside there. Whoop. Actually, let's try it this way. Dun dun dun. Is that still in camera shot? Yes, it is. Right, okay. That one goes on there, and that one goes on there. I am going to have to move this, people. You are going to have to excuse me for a minute. Here, look at that sexy thing there for a second. Dun 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 dun. Oop, maybe not. Yep. Don't worry, I was battery dropping down, nothing else. Oh, this is bad. I don't have to push down. No. There we go. Right, let's try that again. Oh dear. There we go. Yay! There we go. And all professionals here, but never mind. Have you had enough of this one now? Shall I move him out of your shot, or do you want some more? Do you want some more? No. Okay. Right. There you have your ready product. All nice and shiny. See? Well, it would be shiny. A, if I could keep it still, and B, if I didn't keep putting my dirty fingers all over it. But it does look rather nice and functional. Now, the big daddy even, is going to require the XL cartos. These ones here. Yeah, you can see that one's got a pre-punched hole. Now for that I did use a Ari punch, or it's one of his little devices, which works absolutely fine for the little one, and for the Ari tanks. For this one, what I find is that this hole here is pretty low down on the base there, so it is wicking fine, but bear in mind I'm using some mix which I got from Toby Red Bull, and that is PG 70/30. I'm not quite sure how that would actually equate for for a VG mix. Really, I think it may struggle a bit. So really, he does have some measurements up there. I think it's from 9.5mm. I will check that towards the end for you, so you get the right one. Now the little one, little dinky one here, bless his little heart, and it wrap it up nice and warm, keep it nice and safe. That takes the normal small carto, low resistance bogey, or that sort of ilk. So if you're going to swap between the two, bear in mind that you are going to need to take with you, if you're out and about anyway, the two different types, the XL and the normal small one, because if you try putting that in there, as you can see, it's just a tad long. I can't see because I've got a web page open over it now, which is not good. But that's basically what they do. Now, it does create a good seal. I will just sort of insert that. All you do is, they can go in any way. They're both the same onto these, and you just push it firmly down in. Okay, there you go, nice and firm. It's already halfway in. Now what you do is, hopefully this is going to show, is I usually take them up to the end there. So if you've drawn it, and that leaves you in the end there. Now you can see that that's angled slightly. Now the reason that's angled slightly is obviously you just put your syringe in there and you top it up with the 5mm. Now when you top it up, I'd advise you to take it up to the top of the thing there where the thread start will come back handy. Whoa, triangle, there we go. Bit of organisation does help. I really must get some sometime. Fill it up to about the top there. The reason for that is obviously when you're manoeuvring this to push it through the hole there proper, if it drops slightly or you pull back slightly, you're going to get juice down the tube. Oh god, yes, you know what's going to happen, people. It's going to start dripping out from the end. No, that's just as bad. But then all you have to do is you just push it through onto that. As you can see, straight through there, same sort of seal. Make sure it's nice and flush at the end, like that, and then you vape away. Okay, I've been using this for a week, hence why this one's got the drip tip on it. And I find them absolutely stonking. I haven't had any leak whatsoever, even with a PG mix, as I said. But let's see if I can find the hole for you, which was using the Harry pun. And as you can see, oh, there it is. I don't know whether you're actually being able to make that out onto there. I doubt it. Wait a minute, I'm going to have to push that back slightly. There we go. Now you can see the hole. Now you see how easy that is to actually move within there. Even someone with my dexterity can do this. So that is a big plus. There you go. There's your hole. You see. Now to get that flush, obviously that's going to start disappearing. So I just usually leave it like that. And with the mix I'm using, as I say, that's okay. It is wicking it. I wouldn't like to try put VG in. If you're thinking about that, use the measurements, and I will give them out in towards the end of it there. But the end result is basically that, which looks, in my opinion, very nice. And it makes a change from the black caps and stuff like that. Nice beveled edges there. Gives it a really nice feel in the hand. Obviously polycarbonate tank on it, so you might be careful with some of the juices you put into it. Whether or not that will be altered later on, I don't know. But I'm now going to attempt to switch the camera again to one which is over there, so it can see me, who is over there, you see. And Willow, you behave, okay? And you, Del Boy, you're just as bad. Don't even get me started on Daz. Right, let's try and swap it again. Okay, here we go again. Cool, that went on fast. And I know the camera's working on this one because I can see the light. I can see the light. It's a miracle. Right, okay, yeah. Big Daddy tank. Back on track. Ish. There's the assembled unit. I shall hold it still rather than waving it around all over the place. It's a male thing, what can I say? Now, all you actually do to complete it is just push that down. It is quite light. Even I can do it without suffering ouchies or anything like that. And again, as you can see, take it down. I just angle it slightly, and that is because obviously I'm going to be inserting some juice in it in a minute. Right, I will use a syringe on this one and a needle. Sharps warning, people, be careful when you are using these. For the purposes of this, I shall be filling it up with some dried plum. Oh my god, it focused. Yeah, and we shall see what that one's like. And this one I got from Daz at the Vape Fest, that little meeting that everybody went to a couple of weeks ago. Now, I don't know why, but I find it easier to use a smaller needle, or a syringe I should say, rather than a needle, than using a bigger one. I don't know why, there just seems to be that so much harder to use. Willow probably knows, she's a female, she knows all about things which are hard. No, never mind. Right, clean mind, clean. Now all you do is you put it in between the gap there. As you can see there, you've got a nice little needle. You see, whoa, Andy, there we go. And you just fill it gently up. Now remembering where I said that I usually fill it to, nice and gently, about there will do absolutely fine. Now I say the reason I'll put that on a tissue there, the reason why you don't want to go any further than that really is it stands a very good chance of disappearing down the centre bit of the carto, and then it'll come out from the bottom there. That's wasted juice, that's not good. And if it's RY6, RY4 or high 5, Mr. Hi-Fi Stud will not be an amused little pussycat. And he's a little pussycat, you can tell by all the whiskers on him. Now, I can talk. Right, and then you just push it lightly back up like that. Now I have got a little bit on the end there. I've got juice on my end. Excuse me while I wipe it. And basically that's about it. Make sure there's nothing there. If you've got any on your fingers, obviously really wash your fingers, but just wipe them off if you want to onto that. And what you have there is a ready to go, a non-leaking tank. You can shake it, you can have it upside down, you can even have it sideways. It ain't gonna leak. And so I've used this one for a week now. I think I've got some on my fingers, and it's not been problematical at all. Now, I have been using it on Snaggletooth's 5V Big Daddy box, Big Daddy tank on a Big Daddy box. Figures. Basically, it's ready to go. Now, let's see. That's a good sound. What it vapes like. As I said, this carto has already been in use. When you first put these in, when you get your cartos, you punch your holes. Use the condom method or your usual method of priming the carto, because it doesn't matter how much juice you put in there, the flow from in there won't start working until you're drawing in, which is airflow. Yeah, you draw in, liquid goes in, keeps it nice and moist. If it's dry to start with, it's not rocket science, it's going to be a dry hit. You stand a very good chance of popping or tainting your atomizer for the rest of its life. So prime it first, then fill up the juice, and then hopefully, as you will demonstrate, or as I will demonstrate for you in a minute, it'll work. Hopefully. Possibly. I'm frightened now. I wonder who will. Ooh. Good. It's got a kick on that, does. That's nice. Draws about mid-range, not too tight, but that's to do with the gaps there. It just produces a nice lot of flavour. That's to do with the carto. The good thing about the tanks, which is what this look is about really, is that will last me all day. So I only need to do that, the filling part of it, not obviously to take it apart, once a day. If I want to change juice and I want to do it properly, then you dismantle it really, give it a little wipe out inside, perhaps give it a wash and stuff like that. And obviously, unless you want it the same juice that was in your original XL carto, you'd want that to be a new one on there as well. Nice, Dad. Nice, mate. So there you go, that's the Big Daddy tank. As I say, you've got the little mammal one there. You do get spares. Now, he's out of stock at the moment, but you can get them from Toby at ivapour-elixir, the elixir part of it. If you have trouble finding it, just type in the search entire store Big Dad and it'll go straight to it. But he is out of stock at the moment. They are £29.95 plus your postage, which comes out to about £31, I believe. But that's obviously when he gets some stock in. Now, as I said earlier, the feed hole needs to be 9.5mm from the bottom, not counting the threads of a stainless carto. If anything, go a little over, not under the measurement. Alright, that way you'll get a more accurate hole really, since that's quite high on that one. I'm not happy with that. It is wicking okay, with these juices, and that one from Daz is also PG. It's not 50, yeah, it's 70/30, and that's an 18mg one. You know, hi-fi's in the background going, ha, baby. It's my strength and I like it, so there. Right. Did I just blow a raspberry live on VTTV? Never mind. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. It looks smart. Obviously, I don't have a silver device, to be fair. What's a silver device? I haven't got one. I've got a wood one. And this is a dual coil Carto. Again from Toby, which is on the inside there. It's 1.52. Stainless dual coil, 510. See? Can you see that there? Excellent. So I can put it on this. Let's see what it's like on this one. This is a 6V in here. Oh, it better be 6V because it's got two CL123As in it. Whew. That's a bit warm. And as you can see, it does work on that. It looks slightly better on that, I'm sure you'll agree, yeah? Yeah, £29.95. Go across to there, ivapour-elixir.co.uk and get yourself a pack, or give them a nudge and say, oi, get some more in now. But anyway, that's been my little review of the Big Daddy tank and Little Mama tank, even though it wasn't actually shown. It's in there. See, it's safe and sound. Keep it nice and warm, bless it. Well, I shall see you after this one finishes, which is just about, I can find the off button now. Bye. Hello people. Remember to switch off the echo this time. I'm glad that played out when it did actually, but unfortunately it don't look as though I'm going to have time to show you this little plaything from Gary Dibley. Well, not this week anyway, but we will be showing it. In fact, I may even do a pre-record and send it across for Dave on the Haze Hour on Thursday. River Keith will have it. Yes. Now, those of you who saw the end of that, I just flashed up that little meeting that up on the, I think it's the A19 OK Diner there. Last week I said I wouldn't be able to come. I have since had a word with the missus, because it is quite a drive for us, and we've decided, oh what the hey, or words to that effect. We'll have a little drive up, because it's only like 4.5 hours. So we shall go up there, because I want to see the standoff. Cue the Mexican music, people, between our VTTV hi-fi stud and the new VTTV raw veg, i.e. Tim, who are going to be having, I believe, an eating standoff. I'm sure hi-fi will put it in the channel there in a minute, as well as vaping. I believe it's 2 ml of juice to see who's the first one to be able to do it, which is going to be quite an interesting feat, and if you can get there, you need to get up there, people. It's going to be fun. Also, the same weekend, I believe, on the 11th, there's a meeting in Hull as well, which I think starts at 7:30, but I don't have the actual details on there. So, Rusty, if you're in the channel there, if you can update for the viewers on that one, that would be superb, and we'll bring you more throughout the week on that one. Also, I'm not going to show the trailer, but there is Dave Kay, who is arranging a mini meet which is next February, which obviously is a bit longer than next week, but that's something else for you to sort of pencil in your diaries. And we'll take it from there. But yeah, if you can get up to OK Diner, I'd heartily recommend. I'm driving 251 miles. I know Daz can't make it, unfortunately. Probably it's just as well because he'd probably fall out the cab. But yes, it's Blurk versus Grub is what Hi-Fi says. That's what it is. Evidently though, Hi-Fi, a lot of people seem to be saying their money's on Tim. Are you feeling worried yet? Actually, what's the prize for the winner? The ability to still breathe? Right, well, it's coming up for 2058, which means that even though I started late through something happening on my system and nothing had changed, I'm going to have to leave you for this week. And I shall be back again next week to sort of have a chat, have a look at that, and some more stuff, and hopefully Jim will be here. Tomorrow night you've got Captain Sav, obviously, the Witching Hour. Then you've got the VTTV talk. Try saying that after you've had a few pints. Then you've got Haze Hour on Thursday. Obviously, unfortunately, Mighty Mouse has gone, which is a shame. We wish him all the best. But I shall see you next week. Be good, especially you, Willow. Surprise us. No, don't. You're fun as you are. But for me, the Vapourmists, and VTTV till tonight. Bye bye.